Yes, welcome to Awake the Journey. Mohini Didi, the living light, exploring together the beauty and brilliance of the truth. So I'd like to invite our angel, Sister Wadi. Welcome, Sister Wadi.
Om Shanti, Mr. Wadi.
You became too cool there.
Well, that's what practice is doing to us, right? So happy Friday.
Thank you.
Story time.
Story time.
Right. So today we have perhaps a different type of a story than what we have done in the last few weeks. And this is from one of the sisters who traveled with Didi. So here you go. This was perhaps the first time I observed Didi do something that I would see repeated countless times more in the years that followed. We were driving from New York to Peace Village. I was a visiting BK who had the fortune of traveling in the same car as Didi. I was also a very young Brahmin at that time, and this was the first experience of significant time in Didi's company. During the journey, Didi, of course, took special time to ask after my welfare and learn more about me, which in itself was very touching. But what really stayed with me from that journey was a short exchange between Didi and the BK brother who was driving the car. They were discussing the upcoming program in Peace Village they were traveling to, and the topic Didi should explore. Didi shared some thoughts, but then asked the brother for his opinion on whether the topic was good. I was quite frankly dumbfounded. Didi's openness to feedback was so genuine and humble, and revealed in a second how Baba was able to build such powerful and trustworthy service teams through her. It has stayed with me to this day. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. So, Mohini Ben, Om Shanti, welcome. So many questions in my mind. Sister Mohini there?
She will come, and yeah, this is
okay. There we are. The deity has come. First of all, just what you were sharing about, Vijay Dashmi and this image of I presume it was Ravan because I didn't catch who was the character, that said he would only accept the arrow from God to be killed because he knew that if it was God's arrow, then he would be liberated. I think that's so beautiful and so true of the confluent sage. I guess for all of us, that's the only arrow that we would accept, and to be killed, if you like, or die a living death with God. And so before I get on to the questions of the other thing, what I wanted to ask you is, I've seen pictures of Brahma Baba, decorated like an emperor, but these were pictures from Hyderabad and Karachi. But I have no sense, I have never heard any of the daddies, anyone speak of how, if Baba did celebrate any of the festivals, if he actually did anything at Janamashtami or Diwali, or I've never heard stories, I've never seen pictures. And so I was wondering, Did he just treat them as another day, or did he allow the children to engage? Now it's such a big production, you know, and on all the campuses, they're competing with each other for lights and one thing and another. But I'm wondering, how was Baba in those days? Did you ever see him engage?
I think that when they were in Karachi, then not necessarily festivals, but Baba used to like keep them entertained and light, and so the trans messenger will go and get a scene. Whatever she will see, she will come and tell. So there were some older sisters, they were like good tailors. So they had a lot of material. They will, you know, stitch the costumes, make the crowns, and every evening or most of the evening, they have some of that display, living goddesses or living, that definitely I know. But festivals, because generally, you know, Baba always said that these are festivals, your memorials, but they are like bhakti, you know. I think that many things we start doing it, like during Brahma Baba's time, we were never tied Rakhi, you know.
Yes, this is what I was curious about. Because I've never heard any stories.
Yeah, so I'm coming.
Yeah.
So I think that he really didn't wanted to go into all this bhakti, but from Murli, like, you know, he talks about Ramayana, he talks about Mahabharata, and now there are so many people in Bharat and also abroad. They don't know anything about Ramayana and, you know, Bhagavad and Gita. So sometimes we think that how to get them acquainted, how to, you know, so we create all these little things so that they know what exactly it is. Because yesterday or day before, I was saying that one of the sisters created a video with all the whatever references are in Murli from Ramayana. She has actual scenes and it's beautiful. I was telling Bhumi when we should locate that video and just show for one instant. So actually thought is more about getting aware of that, knowing more. It should not be seen as a bhakti, but it's our memorials. So it's good to understand, you know, so that many are now relating with goddesses. Like last year we did it so much, you know. This year we didn't do much, so that everyone can understand why they are shown with symbols or weapons or crown or line and, you know, different kinds of things.
So just you know, reminding us about the early days in Sindh, and you've heard me say it before, where, and I haven't had the thought in quite some time, but the beginning and the end being the same. And I somehow have this sense of what you're doing, maybe without intending to, but that it's you are replicating just in a very natural way what happened at the beginning. You know, that the whole family's together in the evening, and there's the stories, and there's the gyan, and there's this whole combination of things. I think it's a kind of a repeat. And the other thing that catches my attention, and again, just sharing my own experience, where I had completely finished bhakti when I came to Baba, and I knew, you know, if they're praying or whatever, it's not what I'm looking for. But in terms of my Brahmin life, that interest in bhakti, not so much in the ritual and stuff, but the stories and the, you know, whether it's the Ramayana or Bhagavad or whatever, that they're so profound. I really, really love the wisdom in the stories. But one thing that catches my attention too, I think, and you can clarify for me, we speak of the original qualities of the soul, but there's no goddesses for those original qualities other than Saraswati, I think. I mean, I
No,
don't think there's a goddess of bliss or purity or peace, or is there?
not of, but love definitely, no? But not these goddesses, but there are other, you know, I can think of, there are some who are also symbol like goddess of peace, Shanti Deva, God of peace. But one of the thing when we created program, because it started from the Arijanti, that how to connect Baba's new children or even
Yes,
old ones with the yagya
yes,
and with the ancestor souls, because many didn't know anything. So what comments we get, like taking them at that time, is giving them really, really good experiences. Like they come to know, now we are taking Adi Ratan, that means original jewels, each
yes.
Dadi once in a week, or Brahma Baba speaking morely, Mama is speaking morely. So
It
it's
is.
really,
It's
even for me, I feel so good. I feel so secure and protected. Oh, we are in Yagya, we are with Baba, Mama, Dadis together. That was one.
I know. It's the
Yeah,
beginning of the yajna again, Mohini.
yeah. And secondly was to see how all Baba's children know whatever Baba speaks in the morning.
Yes,
Because otherwise they mostly think, oh, we have nothing to do with it. Some
nothing to
say
do with it.
half of the Murli is bhakti. I say it's not bhakti, it's your story.
No.
If you listen to everything as your story, then it's different than saying it's bhakti.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was
It's
another thought.
profound.
I remember that one sister last year, she was not in all these goddesses, all that. But some or other last year, she washed every day. So when she did it, she said, I never realized that there is so much meaning, so much
Yeah,
significance. And I connected now every time she mentions that.
yeah.
So there are some Baba's Brahmins who were never, but of course there was no interest, but it's the time of festival. So
Yes,
two way, one is of course we want everyone to be aware, but also many of us miss now because we are not in India, right?
right.
So if we were in India, even if we want, but lot of service takes place and thousands of people go. You know that in Calcutta, I went many years ago during this time, 9 nights of goddesses. And so they had these living goddesses,
Oh,
so
yes,
we had to
beautiful.
we had to explain and all that, lot of service.
Yes,
So I think that I want world family, especially in other countries, to connect with what Baba is saying and relate to your own self and see,
yeah,
oh, this story connects with me.
yeah.
So we will try to see if in month of November we could do a little bit different.
Honor, I'm not, I enjoy very much the bhakti aspect, and it's, as you say, the connection with our own story and the depth and the wisdom and the truth that is there. It's I really only appreciated bhakti when I gave it up.
Mm.
Yeah. So back to the story, and a couple of things. A bold message that you did while we were in Peace Village last weekend. You were saying that only blessings can protect you, and that whatever service you do in such a way that you are protected. And so I was wondering about that you being an example, like the sister mentioned, that she was, to use her words, dumbfounded. She was so shocked to see what for you is a normal thing. Now, does being an example does it only work as a blessing if the other person does something with it?
Mhm. See, I think recently in one of the morning, Baba talked about service, that you don't have desire or you don't want anything from whom you're serving, because I'm serving for Baba and of course for the soul. So when you are really, really desireless and selfless and serving with very, very pure feelings, then the souls really from their heart start blessing you, whatever little they got knowledge or so. I like the point when Baba said, those who get maximum blessings also get a great part to play.
Wow.
And last Sunday only, and I immediately was touched because a lot of people ask us, there were so many dadis, why some of dadis were so prominent, and same happens with the sisters and brothers. It's the accumulation of blessings they have. So when they
Interesting.
have accumulation of blessing, their part will be in yagya, a big one. And after that, I myself realize, and I keep everyone, serve from the heart. It's a big thing or a small thing. You will, once you get blessings, your part will be very great.
Wow, that's beautiful. So I mean, automatically people will give you blessings because of what they've gotten from you, but that your actions work like a blessing on them also. And so what I was curious about is making this distinction between being a sample and being an example,
Mm.
and how that works in terms of blessings
Mm.
of others getting that as a blessing for themselves, which they can use.
It's so interesting that you, when you have love and respect for everyone, even if they are in Gyan, they are very new, right? To kind of know their perspective. I remember, I don't know, you were there in London, but that time, Jayanti Dadi, myself. So I think once in a week we used to go this, one of the place to give lecture. I am forgetting the name, some spiritual association.
Oh yeah, the Spiritualist Association. That's what it was
So,
called. Yeah.
so we in the car, Jayantivan had to talk, I have to talk, and Dadi Janki, like we all would share all the time what should be told, what should we speak. It's not what I think I'm going to just speak. It's like it's a kind of, this is how I grew. Even now I ask sisters here, what would you say about this topic? What would you
Yeah.
say about this? But this way also other person could churn and share, because out of 6, maybe 1 will give lecture. But if you get little bit from everyone, it's a different kind of feelings too. So that has become like our nature. I mean, seeing daddies doing it, and of course, I like always to know from other person, what would you think about this topic if you have to speak? And they come up with very, very good ideas. When even the younger ones, when I ask them, they tell me very good things, which maybe I hadn't thought that way. Because everyone's intellect stage, their part they're playing, they will come up with something. So setting example is really, just say working together, talking together, thinking partners. Now you live a kind of, this is how it should be, not that you think you do it and that's it. So I think we have to, at every step, remember what I do, it's easy for others also at the right time to do it. Maybe they
Sister,
might not immediately do it.
do you have that? Is it a consciousness anymore? I think you're past this, but where, how Baba would advise us that have the awareness that you're on the stage 24 hours a day, but that could be very stressful, if you had to think like that. And
No,
so you're past that stage, but for those of
I
us who are not there yet, maybe some suggestions.
No, I don't necessarily all the time think of I am on the stage, but naturally, like follow Srimad, do things accurately, keep your, stage. So it should be really very natural, no? Because if you are aware you are on the world stage, yeah, definitely there will be a lot of tension, right?
Yeah.
So
And
it has to be natural.
I
It
was
has to be.
thinking, I know that you're beyond this, but again, help us, where just like the sister who told the story about how she was so struck by what you did and your humility as she perceived it, that maybe we all know to some extent where a new person will think that we did something very wonderful and so on. But then with familiarity, they become aware of our flaws. And so how do I make sure that that does not turn into a disappointment for them? You know, that first my ego's not affected, but that they don't lose. It's like, oh, I thought you were like this, and now I see you're like that. So tell me how
That
to
is why
handle that.
you always have to say, follow Srimad,
Okay,
understand Srimad, and
okay.
like wherever I find that certain things are different, if you are sensible, you will still do what is right. Right? One is to look at what seniors are doing. Other is, for me, I many things. I just this is Baba Srimad. This is what I have to do. So we always have to remember that we have to follow Srimad. We have to remember one Baba. It's not they start remembering us or so some
Mm-hmm.
of these are the foundation points for everyone, new ones also. So they are not disappointed by, sometimes it could happen, the mood and the temper or
Mm-hmm.
over stress. And these are, everyone is a human being and everyone might go through various different experiences and stage. So I'm not following a person, right? I'm following Brahma Baba and I'm remembering Shiv Baba, and I have to just follow Srimad. So rather, what I do, I have helped even seniors when I see they going through something physical or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of supported them instead of saying, "Oh,
That's
I
nice.
didn't know that Dadi will be like that."
That's
I
nice.
know that wherever they are, and I respect them. But also wherever they need my cooperation and support, and that's where the true love also is, no? So you are seeing a teacher as teacher, but also teacher also is a effort maker. And
Yeah, but that's your
here, yeah,
maturity.
yeah.
That's your
But
great
here I tell
maturity.
everyone that if you see anything, so there are young sisters and sometimes they do certain things. You don't talk amongst yourself, you let me know.
Yeah.
I will take care because they have come to stay with me and I'm supposed to guide them. So we have created this kind of culture that, so they find this one is very forceful or controlling. So they will call, she does so much, but still if she can, but not talk amongst yourself.
That's a good
Because
point. I
then
like that.
creating karmas to know when we talk against anyone. I said everyone is effort maker. We are effort makers. They are effort makers. So don't, point out finger to anyone. If we consider all of us as effort maker, Mama used to say it is a race. You can go ahead. Why are you looking at someone's defect, right?
Yes, that's great, Sister Mohini. I really like that. That's a lovely consciousness, and that you can go ahead. Why talk about somebody else, and to tell others that it's not about talking amongst yourselves. That take it somewhere or to someone who won't be affected by it. That's lovely. So, Dev Bhai, did you want to sing us a lullaby to finish the story?
Shanti. I think, Didi, you have shared this probably a few times in the past in different ways, that I think getting the maximum blessings to play a greater part. And in one of the previous things, you also have mentioned about we need God's blessings as well. So I'm understanding that it's Baba's blessing and plus the blessing of all the good actions that we do. That's kind of what takes us to that higher part or of better service to everyone in the yagya.
I think that Baba loves you more. When everyone bless you, he loves you more. So that I feel that is the blessing one gets, because Baba feels you are doing it right, you are doing it in a good way. I mean, that love is a blessing also. So,
Great. Thank you so much.
thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much.
Thank
Till next
you.
Friday.
Thank you. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Om Shanti.